So, you want to learn something about flying machines? Well, then you're in the right place. Because in this video, I will try to show you how to build some of the basics of Minecraft flying machines, and also just try to show you a couple of uses for them, and explain the basics so you maybe even can make your own. So let's get started with the first one. Here we have the most basic, compact 2x2x2 horizontal flying machine. Consists of two sticky pistons, two slime blocks, two observers. The main system in a flying machine is that you have a sticky piston that pushes a slime block forward. Then you have another slime block to the side of it that then pulls the other half back. So quickly demonstrating it. For example, this what happens in slow-mo. This piston pushes it forward. This one that gets the text set pulls this one inwards and then push everything forwards. In this system I demonstrated the redstone blocks, but in the flying machine cases you use observers, because they do basically the same thing. And look, the observers can activate when being moved. The observer will detect that, send a power to the piston, and then it will just do the cycle as explained just earlier. So here is a demonstration of one. Very basic, can exactly see what happens. These pistons pushes one forward, the other pulls it back, and it goes infinite. Also, you can copy these uh, sandbag machines that send back the flying machine. Very basic, you just have an observer with the face going towards the flying machine into a block that must be immovable, because otherwise it will just get taken with the flying machine. Then with a redstone dust on top, redstone repeater, and then an iron trapdoor. Also in this design you need to have the observers facing downwards with the face up, because otherwise it won't detect the trapdoor. Now let's get on to the vertical flying machine. Vertical flying machines are very similar, but just vertical. Here in this design you have a observer facing upwards, into a sticky piston, two slime blocks, then one to the right, observer facing downwards with a sticky piston with two slime blocks. Here, as an activation method, I used an dropper because it's immovable and can be toggled with redstone power. Here what you do is you fire it, you turn it on, then it will just the observer will detect that, send a signal to the piston, and then you know the rest. Also can be used from the top. Very basic. If you want to see how to build it, just follow this. Observer, piston, observer, piston, and then slime blocks. Very basics. Well, let's get on to some of the uses for these things. For example, you could just use the vertical ones to make a nice little flying machine. Very easy and very basic to make. Also, one thing to remember is that make it so that they don't connect with the sides or side walls, or make the side walls immovable, because otherwise the slime blocks will stick to the walls and it won't go further because it reached the block limit. Here's a brief concept of this elevator. It's a 2x3 push limit. Also, one thing to note, another thing, is that when using flying machines, honey blocks and slime blocks don't stick together. So you can put them side by side and make it so that they each carry their own weight. Because if these both would be slime blocks, then this piston would connect with all these slime blocks in once and won't be able to reach the push limit. But because these are different, they don't connect and they don't see the same, so they don't push the same blocks, so they have each a different push limit. Quick concept of how to build: place droppers, then observers, then you do two up and then two to the side, honey blocks on the other side. Make sure to make sure that they don't connect. Then two observers facing inwards, two sticky pistons facing downwards, and then just use slime blocks and honey blocks here again. these are this then a basic elevator build. Just activate it, and it will be sent upwards. Another use for flying machines is in the use of farms. For example, I use bamboo here, and when pulling this lever, the flying machine will go forward and destroy all the bamboo here. You can then pick this up with minecart hoppers or something running under the grass. And it's a way easier way to farm stuff. I use bamboo in this example, but you can also use things like sugarcane, twisted vines, dripstone, all sorts of things. And this is also way more cost efficient, because instead of just placing, for example, just having grass block, bamboo, and then observer, and this, stand sign, how you would used to do it with sugarcane. Look, then you have to wait for it to grow here, and then get pushed. You need lots of sticky pistons, lots of observers. While using this one, you only need a few slime blocks, a few sticky pistons, and 2 observers. Way more cost efficient. So these are my basic information things that I have to tell you about flying machines. There might be some things I missed in this video, because I haven't covered everything. But I hope you at least now understand the basics of these flying machines. So you can hopefully build some this yourself and maybe find a use for it yourself.